All right, buckle up everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of the 2019 Corvette.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
We're going deep with this one, using the official Chevrolet brochure you sent over. Going to unpack all the juicy details about this generation, the models, the tech, the performance, everything. I mean, this car's an icon for a reason, right?
Absolutely. And what really grabs me about this particular year is the sheer variety they offered. Like, Chevrolet really did their homework, you know? There's a Corvette here for practically everyone, whether you want something you can drive every day or something you can take to the track and really push to the limit.
You're not kidding. Looking at this lineup, it's impressive. So where do we even begin with all these different Corvette models?
Well, you got to start with the heart and soul, right? The Stingray. It's the classic Corvette, but modernized, refined. This brochure does a great job of showing that balance between performance and, well, practicality.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right here. They're talking about how both the coupe and convertible tops can operate at speeds up to 30 mile per hour. Imagine that. Cruising in a scenic highway, wind in your hair.
Talk about a driving experience.
Exactly. But it's not just about looking cool, right?
Yes.
The Stingray's got to have some muscle under the hood to back it all up.
Oh, it most definitely does. But before we jump into engine specs, let's move on down the line to the Grand Sport. Now, this one's a bit special.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
It's a throwback, a tribute to those lightweight race cars from back in the 60s.
I've seen pictures of those classic Grand Sports. They had this presence, real showstoppers. Does the 2019 model capture that same energy?
In spades, wider fenders, track-ready suspension, even an optional heritage package with those iconic fender hash marks.
Oh, yeah, I see that here. Those hash marks are cool. A little visual reminder of its racing pedigree.
Exactly. Heritage without sacrificing comfort or drivability.
Speaking of performance, this brochure is really hyping up the Z06 developed alongside the C7R race car. How much of that racing tech actually makes it into the production model?
That's the million-dollar question, right? The Z06 is a prime example of how Chevrolet takes what they learn on the track and brings it to the streets. We're talking about advanced aerodynamics, a supercharged V8 engine, and performance that rivals some supercars out there.
650 horsepower, that's no joke. But I imagine all that power requires some serious control.
You got it. And that's where features like the Performance Traction Management System and the Magnetic Selective Ride Control come in. We can dig into those more later, but just know that Chevrolet engineered this thing to be both incredibly powerful and surprisingly manageable.
Sounds like they found that sweet spot between raw power and, well, refined driving dynamics.
Okay, now I gotta ask about the ZR1. This brochure calls it the fastest, most powerful production Corvette ever. What sets it apart? The ZR1 is in a league of its own, honestly. It takes everything great about the Corvette and dials it up to 11. 755 horsepower, a supercharged V8, a top speed that pushes the limits, and enough downforce to stick it to the pavement.
And they finally made a convertible version. Top down, wind in your hair, all that power. Can you imagine?
It's an experience. And get this, they only ever made one ZR1 convertible before this, back in '71. So for Corvette fans, this 2019 model was a huge deal.
Wow, bringing back a piece of history.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got all these different models, each with their own personality, but what's driving all that power? Let's talk engines.
You got it. Time to pop the hood and see what's cooking.
We got 3 V8 engines to talk about: the LT1, the LT4, and the LT5, each one a masterpiece of modern engineering.
All right, break it down for me. What makes these engines so special? Are they all about raw horsepower?
Well, they all pack a serious punch, that's for sure. But what's fascinating is the tech they use to maximize both performance and efficiency. That's what sets them apart.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of tech are we talking about? Take variable valve timing, for example. It basically lets the engine adjust the timing of the valves, optimizing performance across different RPM ranges. So you get better low-end torque for quicker acceleration and more power at higher speeds.
So it's smart power, not just brute force.
Yeah.
Adapting to how you're driving.
Exactly. Then you've got direct injection, which sends fuel straight into the combustion chamber. That improves combustion efficiency, leads to better fuel economy, and even helps reduce emissions.
Wow, so it's not just about power, it's about efficiency and being a little bit greener too. Didn't expect that from a high-performance sports car.
It's a sign of the times. And then there's active fuel management. It can actually shut off cylinders when you don't need all that power, like when you're cruising on the highway. Saves fuel.
Wait, so it basically runs on fewer cylinders when it can? That's pretty clever.
It is. And here's a fun fact. All three of these engines, the LT1, LT4, and LT5, are descendants of the original small block V8 from way back in 1955.
1955 to this beast of the ZR1. That's quite the family tree. It's amazing how they've taken a classic design and kept innovating.
It's a testament to Chevrolet's commitment for sure, but a powerful engine's only half the equation, right? You need a car that can actually handle all that power.
Right. That's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak.
Yeah.
What about handling and all those performance features that help you control a car like this? This brochure mentions some pretty high-tech stuff.
It sure does, and we'll dive into those details right after this. All right, so taming all that horsepower, you hit it on the head earlier, raw power without control is, well, pointless. And that's where the Corvette's engineering really shines.
For sure. The brochure digs into a 7-speed manual with active rev matching, an available 8-speed paddle shift automatic, and this performance traction management system. What stands out to you as the most significant feature for someone who's, not a race car driver?
That's a great question. It shows how Corvette caters to different types of drivers. Like for that driver who loves the feel of a manual, that 7-speed with active rev matching, oh man, it's a dream come true. It makes sure your downshifts are smooth, perfectly timed, so you feel like you're on a racetrack.
I'm picturing myself shifting like a pro.
Exactly. No more fumbling with heel-toe downshifts. But then for those who prefer an automatic, the 8-speed with paddle shifters, it's lightning fast, super responsive.
They got everyone covered. But what about when you really want to push it, test the car's limits? That's where performance traction management comes in, right?
You got it. PTM is all about keeping you in control even when you're pushing the car hard. It manages the engine's torque, the brakes, everything to maximize grip and stability, especially when you're cornering aggressively, accelerating hard.
So it's kind of like a safety net when you're out there on the edge.
You could say that. It gives you the confidence to explore what the car can do without, losing control. But one of the coolest things about the Corvette is how versatile it is. It's not just a track monster. It can also be a comfortable daily driver.
And how does it pull off that trick?
Driver mode selector. You can customize the car's settings like the steering, throttle response, even the suspension to match how you're driving.
So I could choose like a tour mode, sport mode, track mode. What else?
You got it. Weather mode for slippery conditions, even eco mode for when you want to save some fuel. Yep. Even a Corvette can be fuel efficient when it needs to be.
Eco mode in a Corvette. That's not something you hear every day. But let's be real, you don't buy a Corvette to sip fuel. What about the features that really make this car special, the things that stand it apart?
For me, it's got to be the magnetic selective ride control. Pure magic, I tell you. It reads the road surface constantly, thousands of times per second, and adjusts the shocks almost instantly.
So the car's always adapting to the road, making sure the ride is smooth and controlled no matter what.
Exactly. That's how it can be both comfortable on a cruise and sharp as a tack on a twisty road. Remarkable technology.
All this talk about performance is making me want to get behind the wheel. But first, let's step inside. What's the interior of a 2019 Corvette like? Does it match the sporty look on the outside?
Oh, it absolutely does. Luxurious and driver-focused. This brochure highlights the craftsmanship. Leather seating is standard, with the option to go for Napa leather.
Napa leather, huh? Sounds pretty swanky. But this is a performance car. Is there anything about the design that, makes the driving experience better?
For sure. They've got this flat-bottom steering wheel, looks sporty, gives you more legroom, and it's positioned perfectly for those heel-toe downshifts we were talking about.
It's all about those little touches. But we're in a digital age now. What about the tech? What kind of gadgets did they pack into this 2019 Corvette?
They weren't shy with the tech, that's for sure. You've got the Chevrolet infotainment system, 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, built-in Wi-Fi, all the good stuff. And for those who want even more, there's navigation and a premium Bose sound system.
So connect and entertain while you're carving canyons. Sounds good to me.
But the real showstopper here, the thing that sets the Corvette apart, is the performance data recorder. Get this. You can record your driving, video, speed, RPM, G-forces, everything, and analyze it later.
Wait, hold on. This car records your driving and then helps you break down your performance. It's like having a built-in driving coach.
Exactly. And they even offer this Cosworth Toolbox software, which is like professional-grade data analysis stuff.
Cosworth? Isn't that like a Formula One company?
The one and only. So you're basically getting access to the same tools those F1 drivers use. It's amazing if you want to really improve your driving. Or just relive those exciting moments,
That's wild. This is more than a car. It's an experience. Speaking of experience, what about those unique ownership perks they mention in the brochure?
Ah, yes, because owning a Corvette is about more than just the car itself. It's about being part of something bigger, a community. One of the coolest things they offer is museum delivery.
Museum delivery, what's that all about?
Imagine picking up your brand new Corvette, not at a dealership, but at the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. You're surrounded by Corvette history. It's the perfect way to start your ownership journey.
That sounds incredible. Must be an unforgettable experience.
Totally. And they even give you a personalized plaque to commemorate the occasion.
Okay, that's a cool touch.
Yeah.
Gotta ask about something that's always fascinated me. Corvette racing. They've got such a long and successful history in motorsports. How does that racing program influence the design and performance of the cars we see on the road?
Great question. And the answer is it's deeply intertwined. Corvette racing isn't just marketing fluff. It's baked into the brand's DNA. The engineers, the designers, they're constantly pushing boundaries on the track, and those innovations often make their way into the production cars.
So when I'm driving a Corvette, I'm benefiting from, like, decades of racing knowledge.
You got it. A good example from the brochure is the front underwing on the ZR1. That design, it came straight from the C7R race car, generates almost as much downforce as the rear wing, but you can't even see it. Racing, driving innovation, right there.
That's so cool. They're taking what they learn on the track and making our everyday cars better.
Exactly. And for those who want to really tap into the Corvette's potential, there's the Ron Fellows Performance Driving School.
Oh, yeah. 2-day program for Corvette owners, taught by the man himself, Ron Fellows, a legend.
It's an incredible opportunity to hone your skills, learn from the best, push a Corvette to the limit on a racetrack, get personalized instruction from Ron Fellows. You come away with a whole new appreciation for what the car can do.
Sounds like the ultimate Corvette experience.
Yeah.
But even without a racing school, the 2019 Corvette offers something special, right? We've talked power, handling, tech. But there's one more element that elevates this car: the design.
You're right, the Corvette's always been a head-turner. But what makes this particular generation's design so special? It's a combination of things, I think. Those sleek aerodynamic lines, the aggressive stance, the attention to detail, it all comes together to create a car that's both beautiful and functional.
So it's not just about looking good. The design has a purpose.
Absolutely. Every curve, every vent, every spoiler, it's all designed to optimize airflow, reduce drag, and enhance performance.
Form and function in perfect harmony. Tell me more about these design details. Where should we start?
Let's begin with the Stingray, the most iconic Corvette. Its design blends classic Corvette cues with a modern aesthetic.
The brochure mentions a windswept design. What does that even mean?
Well, look at the hood. It's sculpted, low profile, which not only looks sleek, but helps channel airflow over the car, reduces drag, improves aerodynamics.
Like the car is cutting through the air effortlessly.
Exactly. And the side profile, the doors are slightly recessed, which creates a sculpted look and improves airflow along the sides.
So even something small like that affects the car's performance.
You better believe it. And then there are the functional elements, like the hood air extractor, which helps reduce lift at higher speeds, and those rear vents, which cool the transmission and differential, keeps everything running smoothly under pressure.
It's amazing how they blend those practical elements into a design that's so visually appealing.
Right. And it's not just the Stingray. Each Corvette model has its own design language that reflects its capabilities. The Grand Sport, for example, with its wider track and flared fenders, it's got this athletic stance, tells you it's ready for the track.
And those fender vents with the Grand Sport badge, they're not just for show, right?
Nope. They manage airflow, keep the car planted, especially when you're pushing it in corners.
It's all in the details.
Exactly. And then you have the Z06, which takes aerodynamic design to a whole other level.
The Z06 definitely has a more, like, menacing look. Bigger vents, wider front and rear. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, with 650 horsepower, you need all the cooling you can get, especially on a track. Those larger vents make sure the engine, brakes, everything stays cool under pressure.
Like a breathing machine, optimized for performance.
That's a great way to put it. And then, of course, there's the ZR1, the pinnacle of Corvette aerodynamic design.
The brochure talks about a halo hood and exposed carbon fiber. Sounds pretty wild.
It is. The hood's carbon fiber, with this large opening that shows off the massive supercharger underneath.
So it's not just a visual thing, it has a function.
Oh, yeah. The supercharger's so big, they had to move it up and out. So they designed this halo hood to accommodate it, make sure the airflow's right.
Form following function, classic. They didn't just cut a hole in the hood, they made it a design element.
Exactly. And the ZR1's aero goes even further. You've got two configurations. A low wing for top speed, and a ZTK Trek performance package with a big adjustable high wing.
So you can choose how much downforce you want. That's incredible.
It is. With the ZTK package, that high wing deployed, the ZR1 can generate 950 pounds of downforce at top speed.
That's almost half a ton, like it's glued to the road.
Amazing engineering, right? Shows the level of detail that went into the 2019 Corvette. Okay, so we've covered the exterior, from the Stingray to the ZR1's aggressive aero. What about the inside? Does the interior live up to the hype? Oh, you bet. The 2019 Corvette's interior is a work of art crafted to enhance the driving experience. Luxury and technology all around.
All right, let's step inside. What are the standout features we should be looking for?
Well, first you'll notice the high-quality materials. Like we said, leather seating is standard with the option to upgrade to Nappa leather.
I can imagine sinking into those Nappa leather seats. But it's a performance car. Any design elements that, emphasize that?
Absolutely, like the flat-bottom steering wheel,
Yeah.
sporty look, more legroom, and perfect for heel-toe shifting.
It's all about the details. What about when you're not driving hard? What does the Corvette offer in terms of comfort?
Well, Chevrolet makes sure the Corvette is as comfortable as it is capable. Supportive seats, plenty of space for a sports car.
So I won't feel cramped on a long drive.
And speaking of long drives, you've got heated and ventilated seats, a head-up display that projects key info onto the windshield, and a premium Bose sound system. Makes those road trips a lot more enjoyable.
Cruising in style, listening to your favorite tunes without taking your eyes off the road. Perfect.
Exactly. And then there's all the tech integrated into the interior.
Right. The Chevrolet infotainment system, 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the works. But what are the features that really make this Corvette stand out from the pack?
For me, it's the performance data recorder, the PDR. Such a cool feature. Turns your Corvette into a data acquisition system, records video, audio, performance data, you name it. You can analyze it all later.
Like a black box for your car, but, in a good way.
Right. Analyze your driving, relive those track days, even keep an eye on things when someone else is driving your car.
Speaking of, you mentioned valet mode earlier. What does that do?
Valet mode is brilliant. It records video and data when you leave your car with a valet. Gives you peace of mind knowing you have a record of what happened.
Clever. A virtual guardian for your Corvette.
You got it. And speaking of guarding, the Corvette has plenty of safety features too. Advanced airbags, rear view camera, even optional stuff like blind spot monitoring and lane keeping assist.
So it's not just about performance, it's about safety too.
Absolutely. The Corvette's a well-rounded sports car.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've covered engines handling, that luxurious interior, all the tech, even Corvette's racing history.
And we're not done yet. There's still more to uncover about the 2019 Corvette. Next, we'll look at the different trim levels and options. You can customize a Corvette to your liking.
Okay, now we're talking. Building the perfect Corvette. I'm ready. What kind of choices do we have?
Well, the Corvette offers a surprising amount of customization. Colors, performance upgrades, technology packages, the works. We'll break it all down, help you figure out which options are perfect for your dream Corvette.
This is where it gets fun. All right, bring on the options. Okay, time to build our dream Corvette. We've covered the models, the tech, the performance, but this brochure goes deep on trim levels and options packages. I'm already feeling a little overwhelmed, honestly.
It's like, so many choices, but that's the beauty of it. You can really tailor it to you, your taste, your driving style. Chevrolet did a great job of offering something for everyone.
Yeah, you're right. So let's break it down, starting with the Stingray. It's the base model, but even then you've got, 1LT, 2LT, and 3LT trim levels. What are the big differences there?
All right, so the 1LT, that's your entry point, but don't let that fool you. It comes loaded leather seats, the 7-speed manual, that awesome infotainment system we talked about. It's a solid starting point. But if you want a little more luxury, the 2LT adds things like heated and ventilated seats, the heads-up display, and a Bose sound system.
Oh, nice. That heads-up display, that's got to be handy for keeping your eyes on the road.
For sure. And then the 3LT, that's the top-of-the-line Stingray. Premium Nappa leather, a custom leather-wrapped interior, and even better Bose system with 10 speakers. It's all about that extra level of refinement.
So even with a Stingray, you can really make it luxurious.
Right.
What about the other models? Do they follow that same kind of trim structure?
Pretty much. The Grand Sport and Z06, they also come in 1LT, 2LT, and 3LT. Well, 1LZ, 2LZ, and 3LZ for the Z06. But you get the idea. So you're picking your performance level first, Stingray, Grand Sport, or Z06, and then you choose the trim for the level of luxury and features you want.
Makes sense. But the ZR1 is different, right? It's already top of the line.
Exactly. The ZR1 just comes in 1ZR and 3ZR. Both are ridiculously well equipped, with the 3ZR adding, the Appa leather and the upgraded Bose system. But even the 1ZR is a beast of a car.
So no matter what, you're getting a serious machine.
All right, let's move on to the really fun part, option packages. This is where things get personal. What are some of the packages that stand out to you? Okay, so for those who want to take the Stingray's performance up a notch, there's the Z51 Performance Package. This thing is the real deal. Performance suspension, bigger brakes, limited slip differential, performance exhaust, basically. It turns your Stingray into a track weapon.
It sounds like a must-have for anyone who wants to really push it.
Yeah.
But what if you're more into, like, style and personalization? Any packages for that?
Oh, yeah, plenty. You can choose from different appearance packages, like the carbon flash badge package for a stealthy blacked out look, or the chrome badge package if you're into the classic vibe. And then there are the carbon fiber ground effects packages, one with exposed carbon fiber, one painted for a more refined look.
So many ways to customize the look. But what about the true track enthusiasts? Are there packages specifically for them?
Absolutely. For the Grand Sport and Z06, there's the Z07 Performance Package. This is like track day nirvana.
Carbon ceramic brakes, those super sticky Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. It's practically a race car.
Pretty much. Those carbon ceramic brakes, they're insane. Amazing stopping power, no fade, even when you're really pushing it.
Perfect for those long track sessions. But those tires, I'm guessing those aren't for everyday driving.
Not really. The Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s are really designed for dry track use. They wouldn't perform well in the rain or in cold weather.
Good point. These are serious performance upgrades, not just for looks. So the Z07 package, for those who mean business on the track. What about the ZR1? Anything that takes this already crazy car even further?
The ZR1 gets its own track-focused package, the ZTK Track Performance Package. It's got those same Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, a more aggressive front splitter, and the most noticeable thing is some massive adjustable high wing.
Yeah, you can't miss that wing. But it's not just for looks, right?
Definitely not. It's functional, provides up to 950 pounds of downforce at top speed, keeps the ZR1 glued to the track, especially through high-speed corners.
Amazing how they use all this technology to push the limits. Okay, so we've covered performance packages. What about those who want a little a nod to Corvette's heritage?
Well, for the Grand Sport, there's the Heritage Package. It adds the classic fender hash marks, brushed aluminum interior accents, special floor mats with the Grand Sport logo. It's a cool way to tie the modern Grand Sport back to its roots.
Subtle, but effective. But for those who want to make the statement, there's the ZR1 Sebring Orange design package.
Oh yeah, that one's hard to miss. Sebring orange tint coat exterior, orange brake calipers, black badges, special wheels, orange ground effects, and a whole lot of orange inside stitching, seat belts, everything.
A lot of orange. But, gotta admit, it looks pretty awesome in the pictures.
Definitely eye-catching. Fits the ZR1's personality, it's a car that's meant to be seen. But, with all these models, trims, packages, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that the Corvette is more than just a list of features. It's a car with soul, history.
Yeah, you're right. We've talked about the racing heritage, the iconic design, the tech. But what's the takeaway? Why should someone care about all of this?
It's about passion, the pursuit of excellence, that feeling you get when you're behind the wheel of a Corvette, knowing you're driving something special, something built with care, precision.
You nailed it. It's not about numbers or gadgets. It's a feeling.
Exactly. And that's what makes the 2019 Corvette so special. It speaks to your head and your heart. You can admire it for the engineering, the design, the history, but also just enjoy the pure thrill of driving it.
And with so many choices, there really is a 2019 Corvette for everyone.
Totally. Whether you're a track junkie or just like to cruise on weekends, there's a Corvette that fits you. You can build one that reflects your own style.
That's what makes it so cool. All right, I think we've covered just about everything there is to cover about the 2019 Corvette. Engines, tech, design, history, even how to build your dream car.
It's been a blast. I always love talking Corvettes.
Me too. Yeah. And to our listener, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the 2019 Corvette. It's an amazing car, and we encourage you to keep exploring, do some research, maybe even test drive one.
And hey, maybe one day you'll be behind the wheel of your own Corvette, living the dream.
Until then, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.